Okay, there's the first two. They've been recorded. You can see them. Done. And the next two, or the next four. Plus 1. And that looks to be -1. That's not right. Hold it a minute. -4, and it's -1. I did a slope of -4. There we go. There it is. And that is -3, -1. And then we come over to here. This is y equals -7/2 plus 4. And this is y equals -1/2 x minus 2. And that is 1. Did I do that one right? No, because I gave that a positive slope because I'm an idiot. Up, down 2, down 1 over 2. It's right there, which is 2, -3. All first page out of 4. Any questions? Like I say, shouldn't be a lot of questions because they are just graphing. Excellent. We turn the page over. Substitution. I was very nice to you. They're all already set up. I didn't even make you do algebra to get them set up. They're all already set up because y equals, y equals, y equals, and y equals. So I saved you one step of algebra. That's neither here nor there. It's not important. So all you had to do was move this in for y. -3x minus 2x plus 14 equals 6. -3x minus 2x minus 14 equals 6. -5x equals 20. X equals -4. Y equals -4 times 2 plus 14, which is -8 plus 14, which is 6. So the answer is -4, 6. And of course you checked it by going back into the other equation. -4x minus 5 times -2x minus 3 equals -15. -4x plus 10x plus 15 equals -15. 6x equals -30, x equals -5. Then you come up to here. Y equals -2 times -5 minus 3, which is +10 minus 3, which is 7, to give you -5, 7. And then you checked it in the other one, and you know you did it right. All of these are worth 2, by the way, because you had to do algebra. -5x. Oops, I want to change color, so they're all a different color today. -5x minus 2x plus 18 equals 17. -5x minus 2x minus 18 equals 17. -7x equals 35. X equals -5. Y equals -2, not -2, you idiot. 2 times -5 plus 18, which is -10 plus 18, which is 8. -5, 8, and then you checked it. And lastly, we'll go pink. -3x minus 5 times 2x minus 10 equals 11. -3x minus 10x plus 25 plus 50 equals 11. -13x equals -39, x equals 3. y equals 2 times 3 minus 10, 6 minus 10, negative 4, 3, negative 4. Any questions? Excellent. Somebody must have done a very good job of teaching you guys systems. Oh, shucks. Elimination. How many choices do I have? A little more. The first choice is which am I going to eliminate, X or Y? That's one choice, yes? Second choice, am I going to use addition or subtraction? Right? So, what's the first choice? Does it matter? If I want to eliminate X's, and I do that, but you eliminated Y's, is your work going to look like mine? No. Is your answer going to be like mine? If you've done the algebra correctly, right? So I could multiply this by 5 and this by negative 3. And then I would add them, correct? Everyone agree? I could multiply this by 5 and this by 3 and then subtract them. Everyone agree? I could multiply this by 3 and this by negative 4 and add them. Or I could multiply this by 3, this by 4, and subtract them. All of those are valid. You choose which one you did. Yeah? Now, since I have this one written right here, I'm going to do this one because it's first in line. So that gets me 15x plus 20y equals 5, and negative 15x minus 9y equals positive 39. Yeah? Yeah. Then we add them. X's will disappear. 20 plus negative 9 is 11y equals 5 plus 39 is 44. Y will equal 4. Then that y can go anywhere I like. 3x plus 4 times 4 equals 1. 3x plus 16 equals 1. 3x equals negative 15. X equals negative 5. Negative 5, 4. And then, of course, I check. When I check, do I need to check both of them? Do I need to? I just used this one to get this answer, didn't I? So I really only need to check this one. Negative 25 plus 12 is negative 13. Yay! Right? Right. Do I have to write all 4 choices here, or can I just go ahead? I can just go ahead because you're going to wait and see the right answer, yeah? All right. I'm going to go with, I eliminated x here, so I'm going to eliminate y here, which means I'm going to multiply this guy by negative 3 to get negative 12x, negative 3y equals positive 15. Then I'm going to add them. That is going to be negative 10x equals 20. X is going to equal negative 2. 2 times negative 2 plus 3y equals 5. Negative 4 plus 3y equals 5. 3y equals 9. Y equals 3. Negative 2, 3. And, of course, I'm going to check it. I just used this one, so I'm going to check it here. Negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5. Yeah! Any questions? There shouldn't really be, since it's all algebra that you learned ages ago. The only thing you have learned in this unit is that that algebra has another application. Yet another application. Because we use algebra all the time. No matter what the memes, and no matter what the t-shirts, and no matter what the stuff on the internet says about never using algebra, you use it every single day when you decide how much money you can spend on something. Okay? Okay. And this is not lastly, this is the last on this page. there are two investments. I'm going to call them investment 1 and investment 2. Very creative names, I know. Investment 1, I'm going to give the variable of M. Investment 2, I'm going to give the variable of N. And then, of course, I'm going to read my question. I invested a total of $1,000, which means investment 1 and investment 2 totaled $1,000. So that must mean M plus N equaled 1,000. Oh, that's a super thick felt. I don't like that. $1,000. Right? And I also know that 5% on one of them, 0.05 M, plus 8% on the other one, 0.08 N, equaled $68 in interest. There is my system. Can I solve it just like that? Of course I can. I would use substitution. If you want to do elimination, this is kind of barfy. So we get rid of our decimals by multiplying by 100. And that gives me 5M plus 8N equals 6,800. And now it is easy to do elimination if I wish. Who chooses which one to use? You choose which one to use. It is totally up to you. Would anybody like to volunteer the one they chose to do? Substitution. And what variable did you use, Karen?
I had different letters.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Absolutely right. So, I'm going to write, because you had an M, I'm going to write N equaled 1,000 minus M. And then that, of course, goes right there. If you did substitution. If you did elimination, of course, you had to multiply this one to get the same coefficient. But since Karen started us with substitution, let's finish it with substitution. If M is 400, what is N? 600. And that's the final answer. Will I deduct marks from you if you do not write? He invested $400 at 5%, and then he invested $600 at 8%. Will that cost you marks? No, of course not, because this is not elementary school. Okay? Okay. Oh, that was worth 2. Pardon me? Yes, your elementary school teachers told you, this is what your high school teachers are going to make you do. But they don't teach high school. They think that you, like you were in elementary school, and you want to be at school, and you want to please the adults in your life, they thought that would continue. They did not know that this is what happens. Because most elementary school teachers are either very, very young and don't have teenage children, or very, very, very old and forget what it was like to have teenage children. That's the difference. Most elementary school teachers fall into one of those two categories. Many of us high school teachers have you people in our lives outside of school, so we know what it is like. 1 million, more than 1 million. How many answers to these two questions? How many different answers could we write here? I gave you a big hint. I just said it's more than 1 million. More than 1 billion. Infinite. There are infinite answers to these two questions. So I'm not going to write any answers. I'm going to write what you did. To have no solution, then your answer here is this exact same thing, but maybe you put it into slope-intercept form, which is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. Maybe you did that. If you did that, same rules apply. To have no solution, it is one of these equations, whichever one you used. I'm going to use the original, x plus 2y equals 6, and you multiplied that by any other number. And you will have the exact same line. Doesn't matter what you put. If your number on this line is either this equation or this equation multiplied by something, anything, you have the right answer there for 1 mark. Does everybody understand what I mean? Any number from negative infinity to positive infinity, including every decimal, every fraction, every irrational number. You could have put pi there and gotten this right. Does everybody understand that? Because when you multiply every part of the equation, you get the same equation. Just like when you multiply both the numerator and denominator of a fraction, you get the same fraction. Okay? Okay. Oh, I lied. I just screwed that up. Everything I just said is for B. Sorry. That's B. With the M down there. No solution. The only thing that changes is this. The 6 or the 3. So if you had x plus 2y equaled anything but 6, or y equals negative 1/2 x plus q, and q doesn't equal 6 for this one, and q doesn't equal 3 for this one. I read that wrong. Jacob. Well, it does say write another equation. If you feel you deserve that mark, Jacob, for not following the instructions, you go ahead and take that mark for not following the instructions. Because that's how life works. When you don't do it right, you get rewarded. Okay? Okay. Feel free. You have to live with yourself, not me. And I'm allowing you that. You are the one that has to live with your personal integrity. What? You go, girl. You have a good day of scorekeeping, clock counting, whistle blowing, whatever it is you're doing, arrow flipping, whatever it is. You enjoy. L plus W equals what? No. 10. If the perimeter is 20, 2 L's plus 2 W's equal 20. Right? But why would you have 2 and 2 when that makes it more complicated? But some of you will have 2L and 2W. Actually, what a lot of you are going to have is L plus W equals 20. Then you're going to have done all your work, and then you're going to have answers, and they're not going to actually be right. But that's okay. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to say that. Yeah. I know you did. That's why I'm making a deal out of it. Now, the length is 3 meters greater than the width. Let's put that into math. Length is 3 meters greater than the width. So is it bigger or smaller than the width? Bigger. So it is the width plus 3. Right? Now, what am I set up for right now? I'm set up for which? Substitution or elimination? Substitution, because I have L equals W minus 3. Right? I could move it around and do elimination if I like elimination better. But I'm already set up for substitution. And since I can do them both equally well, I don't want to risk moving stuff around and forgetting a negative sign somewhere. Understand? So I'm going to leave it like this. And that says W plus 3 plus W equals 10. So 2W plus 3 equals 10. 2W equals 7. W equals 3.5. If W equals 3.5 and the length is W plus 3, the length must be 6.5. That will be worth 2 marks. These were worth 1 each. Gouda? Great. One mark for writing the system, 2 marks for solving it. The system is adult tickets plus student tickets equals 200 tickets. $10 for an adult ticket plus $6 for a student ticket equals $1,680. That's your system. Now, some of you will have set this up. You might have said adult equals 200 minus student, or you might have student equals 200 minus adult. You might have any one of those 3. I imagine that if you set it up the easiest way possible, you probably have this one. That's my guess. Then, of course, we solve it. We're set up for whatever we want. We're set up for substitution if we move one letter. We're set up for elimination if we multiply this top one by anything. Right? Well, not by anything. By either negative 10 or negative 6. Since I just did a substitution one, I'm going to do an elimination one here. So I'm going to multiply that by negative 10 to get negative 10a minus 10s equals negative 2,000. Then I'm going to add them together to get negative 4s equals negative 320. S will equal 80. If S equals 80, adults equal 120. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And lastly, without solving. When I say without solving, that just means no graphing, no elimination, no substitution. But you can move it around. So when I move this guy around, I get 3y equals negative 2x plus 5. And down here, I get 2y equals 3x minus 7. When I divide both of those by 3 and by 2 to isolate y, I have different slopes. As soon as I have different slopes, what is my number of solutions? 1. Because as soon as you have different slopes, they are going to cross somewhere. They have to. Because once they aren't different slopes, they are not parallel. And if they are not parallel, they must cross at some point in the universe. Second one. 2 times 3 is 6. 4 times 3 is 12. 7 times 3 is 21. Hey, those are exactly the same lines. So how many solutions? Infinite. Because this is 2 times 3. This is 4 times 3. And this is 7 times 3. Which probably means this is our 0 one, right? But you would never just write 0 on a test because that doesn't prove anything. That just says you can draw a circle. You would, of course, prove it. Negative 2, 5x minus 12 equals 2y. 5 halves x minus 6 equals y. 4y equals 10x minus plus 6. Y equals 5 halves x plus 2/3. 5 halves x, 5 halves x, parallel, plus 6 plus 2/3, different, so 0 solutions. For 3 marks. 3 and 3 is 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, and 4 is 28. When will you report that mark to me? Tomorrow on the test. Jacob Rankin, for what can I do you for? Wait, I said that wrong. What can I do for... No, what can I do for you is fine. Yes. 257. The one at the bottom. It was out of 2 because... Oh, I lie. It really should be out of 3 because you had to write your own system. I should have made it out of 3. So it's really going to be out of 29. Because anytime you write your own system... Oh, damn it. That should be out of 3. So it's really going to be out of 30. Because anytime you write your own system, you should get a point for that. I just went to my mailbox and I got an anonymous Christmas card that is very, very nice. Well, it starts with a joke and then it says something nice. You don't need to hear the nice part, but the joke is funny. Even though it's not a very politically correct joke, I'm going to tell it anybody. Anyway, what do you call an obese psychic? A fortune teller. So, I thought it was very funny. And the sentiment is very, very nice. But it's anonymous. So, if you happen to send it to me, thank you. It was very lovely. If you didn't, no big deal. You got a funny joke out of it. Okay? Okay. Oh, damn it, I recorded that. YouTube people, that was a very insensitive joke, but it was not mine. I have it on a card right here. Visual proof from my good friend Javon. Javon, there's the joke. It is not mine, confirmed. Somebody else is insensitive to obese people, not me. Yes?
Why don't you just edit the first?
Because editing is a pain in the ass. If editing was easy, then movies would be made immediately. Editing is a super pain. It takes a long time. I just don't care that much. Every so often I will edit. Like if I forget and I leave it on like all day, like if you guys are the last class and I forget to turn it off and I'm sitting here at 4:30 marking and I look down and I see the little red light line, then I say a bad word because there's no kids around. That I edit out. Because I don't want to put 3 hours of... Because then some of you that actually watch the video might start watching it and think, holy crap, maybe something important is 3 hours later. And actually fast forward up to it and find nothing. Then I'll do that. Because that's not really editing. That's just chopping it. But editing, you got to go in, find the exact spots in the middle, cut them out, re-save it. It's a big pain. Even with Windows Movie Maker. And that's the easiest editing software there is. All right. I'm back. Are we good? We're finished Math 10. Aren't we happy? Yeah, you got a test tomorrow, but there's nothing new to learn. Oh, please. That exam has nothing new on it. You've seen every single question on it. Yeah. Yeah. But, fortunately, there's a video repository of the entire year. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. What behooves you more? Would you rather actually discuss some of the numeracy stuff, even though I put a video up about that yesterday? Or would you rather discuss some of the review questions from those review packages that exist out in cyberspace? I know that's like a really old person term for out in the, internet ether, but I want to bring it back. I like that word. Just like I want to bring back information superhighway. I hated that word for the internet. I wanted to punch anybody who said it when I was your people's age. But now I want to bring it back. What works for you? Because I, as always, am at your mathematical service. See what I did there? Okay.
My dad's next to me. Very mad at me that I didn't make my bed.
Your dad should see my son's room. Then your dad would be mad at me for being a bad parent. Did I show you guys the washing machine commercial?
Oh, where we should see it.
No, it's not a black guy. No. No! That's horrible!
They like a black guy and then washing machine comes out Chinese.
No, that's not a TV commercial because that wouldn't be on TV anywhere in North America. Could be on TV somewhere else. Because other places don't have the same crazy rules about TV that we do. We make sure nobody's feelings get hurt, but other places, they don't care. What do you guys want? Or do I just shut up and let you look at your own stuff? Of real stuff or of numeracy? Real stuff? Okay. So would you like for me to get that review package from the internet and work from that? Or would you rather I got one of those old practice provincials and worked from that? No, because I don't need any of this review. I can do the whole thing. What do you think is better? Do you want to see some test level questions, or do you want to do some questions that will reinforce the concepts that will allow you to deal with test level questions? They are two different things. A solid mix.
Like start with like the reinforce and then go to the test. And then just lean your way into the test.
You guys. What would you like to talk about? There is every unit we did. I could do that if you wish. You want to talk about some roots and powers? Page 18. 13, 14. 18. Now, some of these had answers, but I don't know which. Apparently, this one didn't. Are there answers? Was there an answer key at the end? No, apparently there wasn't. Interesting. 18, okay. You guys can read that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can get down to 6. Is there anything there that you wish to talk about? Look at the questions. Decide. Remember, I'm not asking you to do the questions. Just look at them and say, oh, I could do that one. I could do that one. I could do that one. What the heck does that one mean? I could do that one. I could do that one. Now, if you are, what the heck does that one mean for all 6? You're in trouble. Fortunately, there's X block, and you aren't writing you're writing your final Monday. Huh. Oh, well. Happens to the best of us. Internet world, you don't get that joke, but it was frickin' funny. What do you got? No, they didn't. I stopped recording when you started talking about explosive diarrhea. Anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anything. I got a 2, and I got a 3. All right, the cubed root of that. That is 343 over 1,000, isn't it? So the cubed root of that, cubed root of 343 is 7. The cubed root of 1,000 is 10. 7 tenths. 0.7. All right? You can always put it into a fraction. Now, what if, never mind. And number 3, write an equivalent form of 9 as a cubed root. So 9 is the number I have, but I want to write it as a cubed root. So I need a cubed root of something that equals 9. How do I find that out? Well, obviously, I cube 9, which is B. Right? Because if 9 is the answer, if 9 is the number I seek, then the cubed root of 729 equals 9. So then 9 must equal the cubed root of 729. Anything else from 1 through 6? Going once? Sure. That is obviously going to be a calculator situation, yes? How do you do that on calculator? It depends on your calculator. If you have a forward calculator, which you remember from your trig, you will push 4. The button that looks like this, X root, it might be Y root, it might be blank root, but it's that. It's got something written in the index spot. And then 10.4976 and then equals. If you have a backwards calculator, you will go 10.4976, probably button 4 equals. Probably. I haven't had a backwards calculator really in like 12 years, so I don't really remember how to do it exactly. I used to have one here, but like most of my school supplies, it has been borrowed by one of my students. I put borrowed in air quotes, of course, because borrowed implies it will be paid or brought back, which it has not been. So the answer is, okay. I can check it on my forward calculator. 4. And then I have to find mine. It lives in here. 4 10 point 10.49. I'm too lazy to punch in the rest of it. Yes, 1.8. Okay? Okay. Anything else? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sweet. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Look, decide. Any one of them? All right, let's do number 11. 1372 breaks down. How do I break it down? That is totally up to me, but it ends in 2, so a real easy way to break it down is to go 2, right? That is 686. 2 again, 343. 343 is 7 times 49. And why can I stop there? Because 49 is a square root, right? Oh, wait, but I'm not doing square roots. I'm doing cube roots. Oh, I should have checked. Then I can stop there. Why? Because that's a cube root. What's a cube root of 343? 7 cube root. And what did I leave under there? I left 2 2's, so it is 4. Anything else from 7 through 12? Excellent. 13 through 17? Okay. What number should be here? 2. That is 9. So that is 3/4 to the 9 halves. The index becomes the denominator. The power becomes the numerator. So it is B. Anything else? 17. That looks to me to be 0.6. I think. Right? It's hard to read. So that, okay, negative 243 to the 6/10, which is the 10th root of negative 243 to the 6th power, right? Can I have an even root of a negative number? No. So, it doesn't exist. (18 through 23). 18 through 23. What do you notice about that, and that? They're all the same base. So could I write it as x, x, and x? What do I do with these numbers when the bases are the same? Adam, what's negative 6 plus 5? Negative 1 over x to the negative 1. What do I do there? Subtract them. What's negative 1 minus 1? 0. Done. I don't know why it's there twice. Seems odd. What I would have done if I had actually written this question is I would have made C 1. Then what's the best answer?
We're going to have a soft lockdown, so all students who are currently in the hallway, please find a classroom. And all teachers, please do not let any students leave your classroom until further notice. Thank you.
Happens to the best of us.
If any of you are nervous, do not bother. You do not need to speculate. There's a lot of strangers in our school because of Snowball. It is probably somebody has wandered away from there. That is my guess. Now, which one would you circle here? 1 is the better answer. Okay? Why is 1 a better answer? Yeah, and 1 is a lot simpler than 3.5 to the 0 power. Right? Let's race. You say 1, I'll say 3.5 to the 0 power. Ready, set, go. 3.5 to... Damn it. I lose. Anything from 24 to 27. 26 looks scary, but of course it isn't, because what do you notice about that and that? They're the same base. So we start with x. What's 7/4 plus 1/4? 8/4, which is squared, isn't it? So that is negative 8/5 times negative 8/5. What's negative 8 times negative 8? 64. What's 5 times 5? 25. Done. Don't be scared by what they look like. Do math. Just like this one. This one shouldn't scare you at all, should it? Because what is it? That would be x and x, right? 1/3 minus 4/3 is what? -1, right? So that would be 1.2 to the negative 1, which would be 1 over 1.2, yes? Right? Which would have to be that one. Anything 28, 29, and 30. Okay. All of you will put that 4 and that negative 27 in here first. You will do it. All of you will do that. Even though I've told you a million times not to do that, all of you will do that. Because as soon as you see that, you're like, oh, A equals this, B equals that. What should you do first? Simplify. Because when should you simplify? Every single time you can. Before you do any other math, you should simplify. So, you've got negative 7 halves and negative 5. Well, isn't that negative 7 halves plus 5 over 1? Which would be negative 7 halves plus 10 over 2, which would be 3 halves. Yes? Right? So I would have A to the 3 halves. Then B, I have 10 thirds minus 4 over 1, which is 10 thirds minus 12 over 3, which is negative 2 thirds, which gives me B to the negative 2 thirds. Yes? Which would be A to the, I should change color there, which would be A to the 3 halves over B to the positive 2 thirds. Yes? Because negative exponent, yeah? A is 4. 4 to the 3 halves over B is negative 27 to the 2 thirds. That is the square root of 4 cubed. What is the square root of 4? 2. What is 2 cubed? 8. That is the cubed root of negative 27, which is what? Negative 3. Negative 3 squared is what? 9. 8/9. Done. Yeah? Yeah. Some of the best. And that's the end of exponents or roots and powers. What next? Back to the table of contents. I've entertained a roots and powers. Now who would like to give us a topic? Really, I don't understand why you guys have so much trouble with trig. SOHCAHTOA tells you how to do it. Okay. Trig begins on page 5. Remember, your calculator must be in degree mode. Sine of A. Where's A? Right there. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. What's opposite in a triangle? Beside, hypotenuse, or across? Across. What's across from A? There is no number there. How do we find that number? I use Pythagoras. Since I have the hypotenuse, is it add Pythagoras or subtract Pythagoras? Subtract Pythagoras. That is the square root of 64 minus 25, which is the square root of 39, right? So what would go here? Square root of 39 over what would go here? 8. And you would do that with your calculator. Right? The only reason I wrote square root of 39 is because I didn't want to do this in my head. But the answer is going to be 6 point something. So it'd be 6 point something so over 8, so the sine would be something around 0.78. Everybody good? Sweet! Draw a triangle that represents tan A of 5/8. There's a triangle. Where can I put A? The way I have drawn this. What is tan? Opposite over adjacent. One of these is obviously shorter than the other. So where would the 5 have to go and where would the 8 have to go? The way I have drawn this triangle. 5 would have to go there and 8 would have to go there, and where would A go? Top, 90, or right? Right. Because opposite over adjacent. If I drew it this way, A would be up top. Now, some of you would say, well, Mr. Myers, we didn't measure it. So if you wrote this, stop for a second. A, 5, and 8. If you wrote that, would I give you full credit? Does that show me you understand the concept? It's opposite over adjacent. Would I give you full credit? It's out of 2. Would I give you full credit? Would I give you 2 out of 2? Yes. Would I give you 4 on the 1, 2, 3, 4 scale? No. Why? Because 4 is exceeding expectations, yes? My expectation of you is that you know that tan is opposite over adjacent. Does that satisfy that expectation? Did you put opposite over adjacent? Yes, so you would get a 3. Does it get you the 4? No, because you drew it poorly. Everybody understand? And the reason I'm talking about that is because you have the numeracy exam coming up, and it's quite possible that by your time finishing in high school, that is how everything you have will be marked on that type of scale, like it was in elementary school. Okay? Even though that's a stupid way to mark math questions. But what are you going to do? All right. Do I go straight to word problems, or do we talk about a couple of just already set up triangles? Straight to word problems? Okay, but first, how could I do trig with this question that has no 90 degrees? I would split it, which would mean how big is this blue angle? Half of 38, so this would be 19, right? How long is this side? 9. And now I can do trig because I have an angle and a side. Right? Do I also know both of these angles? Why? It has to add up to 180. And they have to be the same because it's an isosceles triangle. So if you did 180 minus 38, which is 142, and divided that by 2 and got 71, you would know these are both 71. Okay? Okay. So the request was to go straight to some word problems that did not have triangles already performed for you. Like, say, this question. One end of a ramp is raised onto the back of a truck 1.3 meters above the ground. If the length of the ramp is 6 meters, what is the measure of the angle of inclination? Where's the ground? On the ground. Where's the ramp? Up from the ground. How far up? 1.3. Where does the 1.3 go? On that. The length of the ramp is 6 meters. Red or purple for 6? Red. The length of the ramp is 6 meters. Happens to the best of us. Angle of inclination. Is the angle of inclination ever the 90? No. Angle of inclination goes where? Up or down? Inclination. Up. So it must be that one. So what will I use to find it? What is that? Opposite. What is that? Hypotenuse. So what am I going to use? So, sine. I need an angle. So is this a shift sign or a regular sign? Shift sign. And then you have to know how your calculator works. If you have a forward calculator, you punch it in the way you see it. If you have a backwards calculator, you punch it in backwards from the way you see it. Forward calculator, sine, angle. Backwards calculator, angle, sine. Let's do a buildings that are apart question. Everybody happy with my building? Good, because we don't have enough time for me to add the windows and the fun little stuff that we enjoy. There's another building, 75 meters apart. 75. So how far is that? 75. From the roof of the shorter building, which is the shorter building? The one on the right. To the top of the other building is 25. The angle of depression to the base is 30. Where's the base of the taller building? Right there. Where is the angle of depression? Is it? It would be in the pink triangle. Would it be A or B? It is B, because angles of depression go down from the horizontal. So that is 30. Find the height of the taller building. What will you use in the pink triangle to find the height of the taller building? What is this? 75. Opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse? Adjacent. What is this? Opposite. So you have O and A. So what are you going to use? Tan. Tan 30 equals opposite over 75. Number on the bottom, what do? Multiply. You want to get rid of the 75, just like in algebra. 75 tan 30. What about in the light green triangle? Is it still O and A? Yep. Tan of what? (25) equals O over adjacent, which is 75. How do I get rid of the 75? 75 tan 25. And if I want the height of the whole building, what do I do with those two O's? Add them. Notice how I did not touch my calculator until the end. Why? As soon as you punch this into your calculator, what are you going to get? Bunch of crazy decimals. How are you guys at rounding? Crap. So don't touch your calculator till the end. Now, to punch that into your calculator, forward calculator, you punch in exact what you see. Backwards calculator, you reverse it. 30 tan times 75 plus 25 tan times 75 equals. Forward calculator, 75 tan 30 plus 75 tan 25 equals. It's 78? Thanks. Sounds good to me. Yeah, yeah? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good morning, Abbey Senior. Teachers, there will be an email sent out shortly. We're just dealing with a medical emergency, so please continue to keep students in your classrooms until further notice. Thank you.
Ooh. Didn't expect that one. Oh. That's interesting to me because in this room 2 years ago, somebody had a seizure. Like, I was looking at the person, and then I looked away, and then I looked back at the person, and they were like this. And I went back to the person because I thought they were faking. Haram. Thank you. I went back to the person because I thought they were faking, and they weren't faking. And there was lots of evidence that they weren't faking. The evidence that usually happens when somebody dies. And I called 911 and took care of it all. But we didn't have a soft lockdown for it. Nobody even knew what happened. Mr. DeVries, next room over. I walk in, holy crap, that was a weird period. He's like, what happened? They brought the stretcher up here. They walked down the hall with it. Nobody knew. Because I'm calm and cool as a cucumber. You guys are real bad at number 23. Should we talk about it? I think we should. The pink triangle's the diagonal, right? Right? So to do that pink triangle, what do I need? I need that side, which is what? 6. And if I know that side, I'm in business, don't I? Do I know that side? I can do the math, because how long is this purple side? 4. How long is this side? 10. What angle is right there? 90. Even though it doesn't look 90, it is, isn't it? So isn't that pink line the hypotenuse of 4 and 10? Isn't it? So what is it? What's the square of 4? 16. What's the square of 10? 100. So what is that? It is the square root of 116, correct? So once I know that is the square root of 116, do I now know this and this? And what angle is right here? 90, because it's from the bottom straight up. So this pink line is the hypotenuse of this triangle, which would be the square root of 6 squared plus, what is the square root of 116 squared? What is the square root? 116! So that is 36 plus 116, which is the square root of 146, 152. Which you just get on your calculator. Okay. Do we need to do any more trig? We're happy? We're happy like Pharrell? Thank you. We don't need to do any more trig? Oh, the trig has answers. So you can all do like these type of questions. Okay. All right, back to the table of contents we go. Although class should be over. Yeah, right, because of the lockdown. I don't know what's going to happen.
They usually lock it down so there's like blood and then you can clean it up.
Yeah, of course. Not yet. Would you like me to check?